South Shore. Welcome back to third grade online with Miss Naz. Welcome to Math with Naz. Today we're going to do a little fraction experiment. I'll do it on the video. If you want to do it along with me, you're always more than welcome to do that, as long as you have permission to be playing with water. So what I have for myself to do the experiment is a glass that I have already partitioned into 1 cup. 1 cup is going to be the whole that I'm working with. I also have a 1 cup measuring cup as well as a 1/2 measuring cup. What you will need at home is your journal, if you have it, or any piece of paper will do, and something to write with. Once you've gotten what you need, come on back and we'll get started. All right, third graders. So what I want to talk about today is the portion of the glass that's full and the portion of the glass that's not full. We've been working a lot with talking about the shaded portion. Today we're going to think about what portion isn't full. So what I'm going to do is I've already used the 1 cup to measure out where a cup will be, which is right there. So you can see my hole is going to be just about to there. And I'm going to measure or shade in this glass with a 1/2 cup. Trying not to make a mess. Okay. So I now have 1/2 cup of really pretty green water. And I'm going to label that as a 1/2. So third graders, I know that from here to here is a 1/2 cup. But my question is, what is the measurement from here to here? So if we have a 1/2 cup here, how much liquid lives between, or how much space lives between this 1/2 cup and that full cup? Let's find out. I'm going to try to put another 1/2 cup in and see what happens. So as you can see, I've poured in another 1/2 cup and now it's a full 1 cup. That's because, think about it. How many 1/2 cups are in 1 full cup? I say it, you say it. 2 1/2 cups are in 1 full cup. Okay, so now we're gonna draw what we just did. So this you'll be following along with. Go ahead and grab your journal. And on the very top, write the lesson. We are doing lesson 7 today. And then also write the date. The date is 5-13-20. Once you have written that, go ahead and unpause the video and then we'll get started. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw that glass. So I'm not gonna be real fancy. I've gotten some of your guys' work back and it's looking pretty fancy drawn, really great glasses. But what I need from you is not necessarily really great drawings. A simple rectangle will be fine. If you wanna fancify it, that's up to you. So I went ahead and I drew a rectangle. That's gonna represent that glass I just had. Now, I want you to find and partition this glass into halves. Well, I'm using my lines to count. There's 6 lines, so I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna draw a line right there at 6. Now go ahead and shade in the bottom 1/2. Now I want you to use the unit fraction that represents the unshaded part. Go ahead and write the fraction that represents the unshaded part here at the top. Got it? I'll show you and you show me at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's right. The unshaded part is 1/2. Go ahead and draw another glass, same size, on your paper. And this glass, I would like you to partition into thirds. Remember, to draw thirds, you only need 2 lines. 1, 2. Okay. Now I would like you to shade in 2/3. Very good. Last task, tell me what is the fraction of the unshaded area. Go ahead and write it in your journal, and we'll show it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's right, 1/3 is the unshaded area. All right, now I have a challenge for you. Go ahead and draw another glass that you've also separated into thirds. So this one's in thirds as well. But this time, only shade in 1/3. Now I would like you to tell me the unit fraction of the unshaded parts. There's 2 unshaded parts. What's the unit fraction? Ready, solve. 1 part is shaded, 2 parts aren't. Ready to show me your work? We'll show it at the same time on 3. 1, 2, 3. That's right. 1/3 is shaded and 2/3 is not. All right, for the next part of this assignment, what you're gonna need is a piece of paper pulled out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull one right out of my journal. If you're not working in a journal and you need to go somewhere and get some paper, pause the video and go get paper. Okay, so this whole piece of paper is the shape that I'm going to partition. You have a choice right now. You may partition your shape in as many parts as you want. So partition in parts somewhere between 5 and 20. So you must have at least 5 parts, but no more than 20. So before you do that, let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna take my paper and I'm gonna fold it like a hamburger one time. Oops. And then I'm gonna fold it like a hamburger another time. And then I'm gonna fold it like a hot dog one time. So I end up with that little rectangle and all of those creases. Go ahead and unfold it. And then I'm gonna take a marker, pencil would work fine. My markers are right there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a marker and draw over my creases. Oops. Until I end up with a fraction, with a partitioned shape. So I have definitely more than 5. I have 8, but they're less than 20. Go ahead, take your paper and partition it in the way that you like. Okay, third graders, I created a couple different shapes. I wonder if any of the shapes that I created match the ones you did. What I want you to do is on your shape, just like I did, go ahead and shade in 1 part of it. Then go ahead and label what that 1 part, the fraction that represents that 1 part. So for this, I have 6 parts and 1 is shaded. So this represents 1/6. Now I'm going to figure out how many parts are not shaded. So I know it's gonna end in a 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that down because there are 6 parts total. And now I'm gonna count the parts that aren't shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/6 aren't shaded. In my fraction, in my shape here, I have 1/6 shaded and 5/6 not shaded. Go ahead and whatever your fraction is, you've shaded in 1 part, write the fraction that represents that 1 shaded part and the fraction that represents all the other non-shaded parts. Okay, here's another example. I'm going to write a fraction to represent the 1 part that's shaded. So I know there's 4 on top and 4 on bottom. That's 8 parts. And one of them is shaded. The shaded part is 1/8. That means all the other parts are also going to be an eighth. They're going to be 7/8. So 1/8 is shaded while 7/8 are not shaded. Okay, and I have this one. Don't let the amount of squares fool you. So I'm going to count them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on top, and I'm just going to skip count by 4. Always a good time to practice skip counting. 4, 8, 12, 16. There are 16 parts total, and 1 part is shaded. Go ahead and tell me how many parts aren't shaded. That's right. 15/16 are not shaded. That means 15 out of the 16 in this fraction strip are not shaded. Okay, here's the challenge. Go ahead and count your total parts, my total parts, and count the ones that are shaded. I'm going to skip count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. 6 plus 6 is 12, 18, 24. So this is broken up into 24ths. 3 of those parts are shaded. Okay, go ahead and tell me how many parts are not shaded. If 3 24ths are shaded, how many aren't? That's right, 21 24ths are not shaded. But I did something wrong on this one. What did I do that broke the instructions? That's right, I made too many parts. So if you did something like this and you made too many parts, that's okay, good practice. But the one I want you to send me needs to be no bigger than 20ths. Okay, third graders, now I'm going to show you what you're going to do for independent work. Don't get rid of whatever fraction strip you made. I want to see the way you partitioned your fractions. Now, on this lesson where we did lesson 7, we're going to write, I'm going to turn the page actually because I wrote those directions there and I need lots of space. We are going to do 8 problems today. You have 8 problems. So the directions on this say, if you find it on greatminds.org, it says whisper the fraction of the shape that is shaded, then match the shape to the amount that is not shaded. So we're not looking for the shaded portion, we're looking for the non-shaded portion. So on the back of that paper, or even down below, because you didn't take up that much room, go ahead and write 1. Now again, some of these drawings are pretty intricate. They're pretty detailed, in other words. So I don't expect you to do the whole drawing, but I do expect you to write the unit fraction that represents the unshaded part. So for the first one, I see 2 parts. 1 part is not shaded. That means 1/2 is not shaded. And over here, in my bank, I have 1/2. So for 1, I'm going to write 1/2. I don't need to do the drawing. I'm just going to write the unit fraction, 1/2. We're going to do one more of them together. So take a look at number 2. How many parts are there? That's right, there are 4 parts. How many parts are not shaded? Listen to the question. How many parts are not shaded? Correct. 3/4 are not shaded. So over here, I'm going to look for my fourths, 3/4, and it's the bottom one. So for 2, I'm going to write 3/4. And this is a good opportunity to check that spelling because it's on there in the key for you, 3/4. All right, third graders. Go ahead and pause the video on this page and answer questions 3 through 8 by writing the unit fraction. You can also find this sheet in your Schoology course if you're in my room or Miss Bedford's room. Okay, third graders, when you're done with this, it's all in your journal, 1 through 8. Go ahead and send a picture to your teacher so we can see all the great math you've been doing. Thanks so much for your hard work today. Take care. We'll talk soon.